Hello Connective, welcome back. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you don't know how I work, I pull a bunch of different cards from different decks, tell a story, and we talk about it. If you like the content on this channel, feel free to subscribe. Don't smash anything. And with that being said, let's get into this energy. So this is a collective reading for Pisces. I'm going to read the energy for Pisces today and see if it's different than Cancer's. I also want to tell you, Pisces, that been getting a lot of people leaving comments, and I just wanted to say that I appreciate each and every comment that people leave, letting me know where they are in the story or how it, how it was received by them, or just how they feel about the video in general. I appreciate that, so I wanted to put that out there. I also wanted to mention that there is a Facebook group. Link is in the description. There's not a lot of people there, so when I created it, I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to do with it, but we are getting ready to start, making that plan, and might just start operating with nobody in it. I don't know. But that's there too if people want to talk. A lot of people do seem like they want to talk sometimes. That's a good place to do that. I've got an Archangel already on the table. Fifth chakra, Archangel Gabriel. Archangel Gabriel. Archangel Gabriel. Let me just tell you what I'm thinking. So, I got an email from Kyle Gray, and Kyle Gray. You guys should probably just look him up. He's basically like an angel expert, is just basically what I'll say. And he had this this quiz on which angel you should work with next, and my angel was Archangel Gabriel. So I just thought that was interesting that Gabriel came out. This is not my reading. My reading would be Scorpio. I don't even think I have any Pisces. But let's see, Pisces, maybe we can make the most out of this. Gabriel, come in to say hi. See what else is going on here, if we have any other angels. Got any more cards for Pisces? Any more energy cards for Pisces? I see this card, like, not sure. You're not sure. You're going to go back into the deck. You don't seem like, oh, carrying connections. Let's put that there. Let's go through it one more time. So the heart chakra, right? I believe I saw green. It's covered now. Let's find out. What else? Ooh. All right. Oh. What? Cancer got that. This is storm warning. Let's see what else we got. Okay, they did not get this. Carrying connections. They did not get man holding a coin. This is looking good so far. Let's deal with our angel, Archangel Gabriel. Thank you, Gabriel, for showing up. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, throat chakra. Yeah, for some reason I was thinking the heart because I saw green, but no, he's a throat chakra. Fourth chakra. Door to value. Guess who got that? Cancer. Angel of strength. Got another angel up here on the table. Okay. Throat chakra, angel of strength. Woman holding a heart. So man holding the coin, woman holding the heart. And then we have the door to value, and then we have the door to romance, and we have carrying connections on the table with storms. Let's find out what that's about. I mean, Cancer had deceit and financial constraints. It's like tied up stuff. So you don't have all that. You just have storms. I mean, this could be literal weather. Let's see what's going on, Pisces. Let's see. Man holding a coin, woman holding a heart. Carrying connections, angel of strength. Angel of strength usually means the relationship isn't what we want it to be. Our throat chakra, which sometimes means we can't talk. And then we got this door to value, door to romance here. I think I'm going to put them like this. Door to value could be anything. Could be anything you value. Could be anything you have, anything you want, anything you are. And door to romance, of course, is, as much as everybody knows the word romance, romance is different for everybody, right? Throat chakra, strength, you want to talk to us? Find out what's going on with Pisces. What is that? Flipped over in my hand. No need to fear. All right. So we have strength and we have no need to fear. That is an angel too. So 2 angels on the table. Okay, I'm just gonna take them. That was a little, yeah, I tried to control that. I don't know what happened there. But same thing kind of happened in the last reading too. A few cards. Let's see what we got. So what was that? Okay, so no need to fear. No need to fear. Are these even in the right spot? Here, we'll put this here. Actually, put them like this. Okay, so that will go here. And then this is forget who you are. Deprogramming. Let's see. Believe. Strange encounters. Mortality. It's usually the ending for a beginning. Just going to put them up here for now until we figure out where everything goes. Lead the way. Yeah, I want to say Cancer. Got this. Usually means moving forward. If you're the one that sees that whatever it is that's going on, you need to like move forward. So you're still trying to figure it out. This is investigate. And I want to be a queen. Passing a test. Sovereignty. Declaring freedom. This is interesting. I just got this notion of like 12 things just came to my head. Yeah, it's leaving, but leaving isn't really part of the story. I mean, it is obviously. It's here. But this really is starting to look like kind of like when you get out of something and you know how we're always talking about the healing, because we always say that like if you get out of a bad relationship and you just go charging into another relationship, I mean, what are the chances that it's going to be good? Especially if you like bring weather phenomena, with you. Well, that was interesting. What card is that? Honor your feelings. First corner moon in Pisces. Yeah, it's like figuring out that something was not the way you wanted it to be in a previous relationship, and then kind of well, I was going to say fixing it, but that's not what I mean. Kind of just making the right decisions, almost like making the decisions that are good for you kind of thing, emotionally, physically, like everything, just doing the best for you to create like the type of freedom when you go into another relationship. You can be like free to be yourself, and it's really hard to describe this feeling to you guys. It's like I feel like most people in relationships, they hang on to certain things, like as they're exiting, they hang on to like certain aspects of the relationship and maybe even like the other person, and they try to like drag things through, and they don't realize that they're doing that because they think that situation that they were in is like a part of them, or like someone in that situation is a part of them or something like that. They don't realize that they can just let it go. They can just let it go. Like, it's like, you know, trying to like farm in the desert, right? And you just, that's all you knew. You grew up, you were always trying to like grow crops in the desert, right? And then all of a sudden you meet a guy who like lives on a boat, and you just go live on a boat. Like it's kind of like that. Like you just go, you know, I didn't realize how much I hated the desert, you know, until I like saw your boat. So we're just gonna stop trying to plant things where stuff doesn't grow. We're just gonna move, you know. I'm gonna believe that this is something that I could move forward to and do, you know. This is after we've already figured out that things are possible to change, right? Because we have to figure it out so that we can do it. And we have to kind of know at least something about ourselves to the point where we know that what this is not it. Well, I want something, but this is not it. It's telling you to honor your feelings, you know. And it's actually, okay, so we also have new moon in Gemini, think it through. And we also have first quarter moon in Libra, keep your heart open. Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. This is actually pretty decent, Pisces. You know, again, sometimes I put cards on the table and I go, well, this doesn't look that hard. And then we pull the blind spot. It just goes, oh, our blind spot is that we're blind. We can't see what's happening. Here, let me try that again. Yeah. Let's pull the blind spot and see if that will tell us why this is so hard. Because honestly, this already looks like you've done the work, Pisces. Like you've already gotten to the point where, I mean, this is telling you to investigate. So some of you may not be exactly there where you're finished with it yet. But even from your perspective, it can't look that terrible, right? I mean, you might not be able to speak up. You might be ending something in a situation where you can't talk, right? You might need to be strong, and there could be some conflict, and you may not be bringing that conflict, and it might be just as, you know, upsetting or you know, shocking to be living in it, even though you're not bringing it, you know. All those things that happen when we exit relationships and we just wonder like if we're okay. Some of you know what I'm talking about. Especially if you don't feel anything afterwards, you kind of go, am I okay? Just like, here. I want to kind of run through the progression of these cards, like as far as like what I see. But basically I see, you know, that at some point there was an ending, you know. Somebody figured out that things, the way things were going, they didn't like it. It might not even really have been that bad. As I say, sometimes things are bad to kind of tell you, you know, because if we're good, we don't necessarily want to move away from them, you know. This literally looks like a treble clef. Number 54. It's a musical symbol if you guys don't know. Let's see what. What is 54? The positive. What you do not see is that you are preventing yourself from the awareness of an experience of positive things. I literally said you do not see. To be aware or express the positive things, it will lead to negative things. The truth is the opposite. Forget who you are. All right. That's what I've been saying. That's kind of like what I told, you know, Cancer was not like, I was basically talking about how when you're looking behind you, you don't see like what's in front of you. Like you don't see, because even if you're trying to see your future through the lens of your past, you're looking at it through like a filter, like a whatever filter that was. Like if you could look back on your past and it was so wonderful and great, and like you were trying to move towards your future and you wanted more wonderful and great, that would be great. But if you're looking towards your past and there's something that you have to like deprogram yourself from, what you're going to be thinking about in your future is that you're going to be like dealing with something that you're going to have to deprogram yourself from. Like, this investigate, sometimes you don't need to investigate, sometimes you know, but sometimes you only know part of it, and that's the problem, right? It's a lot easier to see how things are from I was going to say a grander picture, like, you know, from all sides, but like for real, not just through your lens of what you thought that person was dealing with or what you thought they were going through, right? Because you don't necessarily know, even if you think somebody told you. And then, so you have to either look into this ending or look into yourself after this ending, right? To see like, okay, I didn't really like any of that. Maybe even it was a waste of time. Like, let's call it 3 years, like 3 whole years, right? I couldn't speak. It was just like one stupid thing after another that I had to overcome, to the point where it didn't really matter what he was holding. I just didn't even want to be with him anymore. I didn't want to give him my heart or anything. I'm trying to move towards this. Could be him, her, they, them. You know, and that person didn't give me what I was looking for. I need to move on. But you don't know where on is, right? It's not your fault. You could investigate it if you want. Some people are like that. Some people are okay with just going where they are, where they're going to be, where they're going to end up. Some people need to like prepare before they go. They're like, I'm not going to walk into this new thing, you know, being who I am right now. I need to get rid of that. Sometimes there is fear involved, especially if it's a new thing we're going towards, because it's the familiar is always easier to deal with, even if there are storms. It's just we kind of know, we know when the storm is coming. We know how bad it's going to be. We can kind of navigate the things that we do to make it work. You know, problem is when you're away from the storm cellar. When you get caught off guard or something else happens, a new thing comes, right? And then you have to kind of like, you know, we don't realize a lot of times that we get stuck in these situations, you know, where we probably thought we knew it was going to be happening, or we thought we knew it was happening, and it wasn't. Sometimes we do know, but I always feel like when somebody's doing something underhanded and like everybody knows, I always feel like that person just wants the other person to leave. They just won't do it for whatever reason. It could be financial. It could just be, you know, a belief that marriages shouldn't break up or whatever. But, you know, honestly, I always feel like it's like a challenge. Like, yeah, I'm doing this. What are you going to do? You know? But not everybody takes it that way. It really depends on what you believe. You know, some people can see what's happening and they can know that it's at their expense, and they can still not lose their shit because they know that they're better than that. They just know that the situation that they're in is not of their caliber. Somebody else put them in a situation where they were living in squalor, but they really were a better queen. They were just a better queen, right? And this card is always, if you see the thing that's wrong, you need to step up. You need to change it, get rid of it, leave it. Forget who you are. You're not going to be able to be who you are and like, well, I was going to say, and stay in it. I mean, it's funny too, because we were talking to Cancer about change. We were talking about how when you change from a positive thing, it's a little bit different, because you can change in any direction and it would probably be fine, right? But with the negative things, they get a little twisted, right? You might think you have control of this, and so you're trying to like, okay, well, I'm not going to let that happen to me. But then you change in a totally different way that you're not realizing because you're not honoring your feelings. You know, I mean, the only thing that I can think of, which I think was in that reading too, is talking about keeping your heart open, like keeping your, you know, we say this happened and I don't want this to happen anymore. And so instead of like fixing the thing that allowed it to be happy, we just like allowed it to happen, we shut our heart down. We just, because we don't know how else to approach that, right? It can take investigation. Sometimes we do know, but most of the time, like I said, even if we do know, we don't know the full picture. We don't know the whole thing, because the part that we do know a lot of times is the part that like really irritates us. It's not until later on when you learn like the other things Maybe somebody shares, maybe you just find out, maybe you realize. Like, say if the person had an addiction, like a drug addiction, and then so you leave that thing, you're pissed at this person, but then, you know, later on you learn something about that drug or that drug addiction. You realize that that person was in a place that you couldn't even conceive because you never had that thing to, that person never told you, you know. And it could be that the person didn't know, it could be that they felt it was personal, didn't want to tell you. It doesn't really matter, because you were in something you didn't want to be in and they didn't want to change it. And so you were stuck trying to, what are you going to do with that, right? So for the purposes of this reading, you get totally through that, right? Even though you got this, the positive as your blind spot, right? You have this throat chakra. So maybe you talked, you probably didn't. You probably couldn't, or you just didn't, right? Maybe the other person talked too much. I don't know why I'm getting this, but it's almost like they talked too much, they offered you stuff. When that didn't work, they created chaos. It was just like, what? So, yeah. See, I don't usually pick this up like this. I always say, you know, it could be a man holding a coin, could be a woman holding a coin, could be holding anything, doesn't matter. You know, I always say, could be holding anything, doesn't matter. No, I feel like this person was like just offering something totally different than what you were offering, or it got to the point where you didn't want to like offer anymore because you weren't getting the thing that you really wanted. And again, may not have even known what that looked like at all. Because you totally have to forget who you are to get into a space where you're even able to receive that, let alone be offered it. You knew that there was other possibilities out there. You just didn't know what they are, what they were. Romance is one of them. The caring connections are out there. You do have a way you can get to it, and it's not that difficult. You just have to recognize what you didn't like in that other relationship and basically who that person was. I mean, I don't see anybody too terrible. I see deprogramming here, but that could have been at any time. That doesn't necessarily mean that this relationship was what caused this. You might have gone into this relationship needing to deprogram, and that's part of what caused like the mortality of this relationship. Part of it might have even been your beliefs. Either you needed to believe in something or you didn't believe in it. You just didn't, you were never going to kind of thing. But right now for this, it's saying that when you're investigating and you're trying to get out of this and you're trying to get into the new thing, even though you don't know what it is, to believe that that new thing actually exists. Like I said, you could investigate it, but you don't have to. You could just know that you want something more, and then you could just move in any direction, right? Because sometimes we don't, I think it was Cancer that I was telling, because I don't think it was you guys, that a lot of times we set our sights on something and it's a lot like lower bar than what the universe is trying to bring us. And, we'll even hang on to stuff on its way out, thinking that we're losing something and it's trying to make way for something better to come in. It seems like you've already realized that that something better is available to come in. You may not realize that it's coming in. I don't actually see any movement here. I see you needing to be prepared. I see you needing to either walk away or acknowledge the fact that you walked away, be okay with it, maybe do the deprogramming afterwards, like just acknowledging the end, possibly believing in yourself, definitely believing in the truth, right? Because if you're going to go through the trouble to investigate, you might as well hold on to the facts. And, sometimes we are afraid of what we find, but in this case, I don't think whatever you do find in a past relationship is going to be too terribly disappointing or hurtful, considering the fact that you already know there's something better out there. You already know that you are better than that. And it's just telling you to think about it. Yeah, you're the one that's supposed to move forward there, but it's really like keep your heart open and honoring your feelings with this throat chakra here, and then having strength. This is just all about you just being strong, just being, you know, being yourself, honoring yourself, allowing yourself to be yourself instead of whatever somebody else tried to make you. You know, people have different reasons for doing different things. A lot of times we take that with us, like if somebody tried to make us into something else, like we take that as like we had a shortcoming, and that's not what it is. And it's a totally different thing than like when somebody wants to fix someone, you know what I mean? And we take it again like, oh, this person wants to help, maybe, you know, maybe we just know they want to change us because there's something that they want to mold into like their whatever, you know. But what people rarely kind of stand in or sit in is their own worth, their own like sovereignty, their own, no, don't put me in a box, or, you know, no, that's not who I am, or, you know, no, I'm not going to tolerate this, I will go somewhere else. No, I'm not going to be afraid to move forward in my relationships anymore, or at all, right? I'm not going to keep my mouth shut and not talk. So, yeah, like I said, 9 times out of 10 for the people watching this, you've already figured this out. You've already investigated. You've already figured out that this old thing was not it. You maybe you do, maybe you don't know what the new thing is. And maybe you are, maybe you aren't ready to like go after that. But again, you don't have to. You just need to know that you don't want to be in the old thing, and you need to know that you need to make sure that you're available. When the new thing does come in, this carrying connections with this door to romance, make sure that this heart that you're holding is open, because that's a whole different, you're going to have to do a whole separate set of cards if you can't, you know, not let this person affect you to the point where when you get into the new thing, you're not affected. You wouldn't want to anyway. Like, even if you could just erase it and then start over again, that would be better than like taking anything that you got from this relationship into the next one. But, you know, energetically too, like it literally has to end before you can like begin. And we do need to pull some more cards. I mean, I just see this storm as like part of the mild weirdness in the past relationship, but something could come out in the healing cards that'll, you know, make it so this card doesn't seem like it stands alone. And, you know, as blind spots go, you know, the positive isn't terrible. Just, you know, it's just like everything else. Don't use it against you. Especially like in ways of like, you know, being positive. Like, positivity is not like toxic positivity. It's not positivity to the point where you don't see the reality, you know. It's not positivity in the name of not having to deal with reality or to escape, you know. It's just seeing things for what they are, just understanding that, you know, I mean, you don't have to understand everything, but you can at least understand like your role in it, who you are, like anything to kind of put you in a place where you feel more normal. Because again, a lot of times in these situations that people want to throw people off balance. They want them to not feel normal. They want them to feel like afraid to leave or whatever else is going on. And these feelings get the strongest right before you're ready to break free. Literally, before you're ready, right before is when that negative belief or negative whatever is hanging on the hardest. That's why most people give up at the wrong time. Just move forward, move out of it, move away from it, move through it, go around it, whatever you need to do, Pisces, to get to what's really coming for you, which is these caring connections, these doors, the door to romance, the door to value. What do you value, right? Because you're already strong. It's helpful to be strong. You don't need to be strong in great relationships, but it's helpful to be strong anyway. Something happens, you're just better for it. But again, this is like all normal stuff. This is all like endings, beginnings, just realizing I need to move in a different way, right? I'm just a normal person doing normal stuff, trying to keep my heart open, right? Trying to honor my feelings. Not everybody does that. And even if we do know what needs to be done, we don't always step up and do it. This is telling you to think it through and then move. Let's pull some more cards. Pisces, if this is your reading, meet us over in the extended. The link will be in the description. If not, until we meet again,